tech roundup, tech shape up. I'm excited. Somebody just say simpler and easier, simpler and easier. So right now, AI is recommending your competitors. And it's not because your competitors are any better than you are. It might just be because they're not even a competitor, but they have just established their brand in the online space so that they can actually be found by AI scrapers. And I'm going to show you exactly what we're building, why we're building it, and just unpack with you kind of the shape up that we've done for this week with Brand Crew AI. This is a tool that I built for myself. I run a family of brands for our family business, everything from holiday decorating to high ticket consulting, and with some real estate and other stuff thrown in there. And one of the things that I discovered was our lead cost was going through the roof, and we weren't actually being discovered. What was working for us was no longer working. And what that looked like in practical numbers for me was I had a $19,000 line item and 1,000 hours of team labor that were not being able to be tied to either the customer acquisition process, the product sales process, and it was really disconcerting. So I basically played around with AI, and what I'm going to unpack with you this week is what we have fixed, what we have brought to the marketplace, and let's go ahead and dive in. So again, the problem is, and I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Take you to Brand Crew AI. So right now, this is what I built. Is what you built showing up when people ask Google and chat and all of the different AI things, like who to hire, literally. We have some of our founder crew on. Renata, who has beautiful handmade Christmas ornaments, are the AI things able to cite her? And so there's a process. So what did we ship this week? So I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. If you are not in our founder crew and you want access, you can literally come here, put your name in, your email, and your mobile number, and get on our wait list. We are seeing the results that we're seeing right now are kind of crazy. We're getting blog posts found, we're showing up in AI overviews, and we're not doing that much. So let's go ahead and sign in and we'll walk you through the process. And then I'll share with you what we have really focused on. Once you're in the brand dashboard, one of the things that we found last week was, again, we put this in front of our founders and we asked people to share feedback who are working this. And one of the feedbacks that we got was that it was too complicated when you first landed in the front door. So we simplified it. So it's basically your dashboard is welcome back. You've got your brands and your team. So your brands in our founder crew, you can add up to 5 brands. Now, one of the things that we also did, and this was Marilyn, who's one of our founders, she was like, well, what if I want to delete a brand? And so you may not even realize, Marilyn, that what you said last week, I actually brought to our development team. And I was like, well, what if Marilyn does want to delete a brand? And so we actually added that feature. So I want to show you right here on the screen, there's this little 3 dots, and you can go to brand options. You can archive a brand, which means you can actually restore it, or you can take this thing and delete it forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this feature. I'm going to click archive brand, and it will come up, hey, McDonald has been archived. You can restore it at any time from your dashboard settings or by contacting us, and you can archive the brand. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel this right now. If you want to, you can also delete forever. Now, I'm not going to delete it forever, but basically, I think I have a yes, yay, thank you, Jesus. I have the pop-up worked. So let's give it up for like our team is doing all, because the first time I tested this, guys, it was like, whoops. I was like, oh, shiitake mushrooms. So yay. Whew. So that's why we do these weekly shape up calls. So Ann McDonald will be permanently deleted, delete to confirm, and then it would delete forever. And that basically wipes everything that you've done off across the map. It's gone forever. Now, So again, the first thing that we shipped this week was simplifying this dashboard so that when you log in, the only thing you see is your brands and your team. Now, we did move the share feedback button down to the lower left-hand corner so that it doesn't interfere with anything else. Did you find a bug? Do you want a feature and you have a question? So you can literally fill that out, but it was over here on the lower right. And what happened was it was blocking a bunch of stuff. So that is the first thing that we shipped this week, the simplification. And then also, actually, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do Control-Shift-R and just to make sure all this. So you can also now add a brand. And if you have one that has been archived, it will tell you how many you've got archived. Because Marilyn, you had mentioned last week, well, hey, what if I want to delete a brand? Because I can only build 5 right now, and I can only have 4 team members per brand. So how do I do that? So I could click over here and restore archived. So I'm just going to restore Heal Helps as a sample. And of course, that hasn't deployed yet. But the goal is that it would restore back to your stuff. Okay, so that's create a new brand. I'm going to cancel that. The next thing that we shipped was making sure that all of you who are in the founder crew, you can have up to 4 team members. And it's super simple. We're working on figuring out how to give them access. So Jill, I know you've got people that you want to have in your brand. Renata, Marilyn, Melissa, you might have people that you want to give access to so they can also work on the brand structure. So basically you just put in their email and you click send invite. And then what happens is you'll have, I'll just add Patrick right now so you can see what this process looks like. Helps if I spell it right. So I would send him an invite, and then you can also literally copy the link and share it. And then it basically shows that their invitation is pending. Okay. Now I don't have an email set up right now with this particular brand. So I have to copy this link and send it to them directly. I can send it, Renata, you can send your business partner in, or your sister, or whoever you want. You can send that in Facebook Messenger. You can copy it in a text, whatever you want. But once you have your integrations set up, which I'll just kind of give a sneak peek to, once you have all your integrations set up for your actual brands, then you can go back and do that. Okay, so that's the team piece. All right, so that is that. So that's the first thing that we shipped this week. And again, that came back from, and it's just too complicated. We used to have access to the agents, the blogs, and the email, and it was just like, no, I come in the front door, I sign in, what brand am I working on today? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing we did was we came into the 3-step process, if you will, is really getting your brand voice dialed in. Without the answer to your brand voice, we don't actually know how to build properly. And so we added an agent, Scout, who is actually connected on a developer level to over 17 warehouses and repositories of AI. What do they call those? They're not searches, they are directories. Then it's connected to 12 AI platforms, things like ChatGPT, all the way to random ones like Alter AI, who does medical type stuff. So when you ask Scout to help you, and I'll show you how this works. So remember last week, we actually added the autofill my brand. And right now I am on the McDonald brand. So I can go over to Heal Helps and I can restore the brand, or I can work on McDonald. So let's go ahead and work on McDonald right now. And I'm going to ask Scout. Okay. So I'm just going to click on a random one, and your chats are saved and archived up here. So I'm going to actually just click on what should I focus on first and see what comes up. I have not tested this, guys. So this was a big one because I said, you know, the brands are already auto filled and they're pulled from research and search, and they're identifying gaps in the market for you. So let's see what happens. Okay. So focus on a transformational promise. Here's why, your first move, what to do right now, midnight confessions. Okay, want to draft. Now, one of the other things that we asked it to do was to show you where it was pulling the research from, just so you know. So let's say you want to have an extra window open. Maybe there's a directory, Jill, that is for trailer hitches, that everybody in that industry knows about. You can literally, if you need to, open up a separate thing, or if it's something that we can integrate with, at a certain point, you can get it to an integration with your structure. I'm just going to save and continue. We did this last week. So save and continue. Voice and story. So the whole concept is, once we have the brand dialed in, everything from your system, your micro niche. One of the reasons we did what we did last week was, when we have it autofill your brand, it doesn't tell you what you want to hear. It tells you what the AI search recommendations are saying you are. And I use the analogy of, it's like getting on the freaking scale. Okay. The blueprint method is like an offer that I had like 4 years ago. It's not what I offer right now, but that's what AI thinks of me. So I strongly recommend that when you go in, when you're starting on your brand voice and you're just trying to figure stuff out, you want to make sure that you have an example of what AI thinks is out there versus what is actually out there. And then being able to just preview it and say, hey, is this really like from overwhelmed coach dependent entrepreneur running an exclusive 24/7 business to autonomous business owner with a reputable brand blueprint generating profit and lifestyle freedom? Well, that's not too far off. But right now, AI is basically telling me there's no media out there. There's nothing clearly stated. And even though the story is there, it's not actually showing up. So that's why we added the Ask Scout piece for everybody. All right, that is the majority of what we worked on this week, making sure that the dashboard was super easy. Let's add a brand. Let's create a brand. Let's do the grounding path. It's just so I can model it for you. And I'm just going to create a brand. You can create up to 5 brands. I'm going to autofill my brand. I'm going to go to thegroundingpath.com. I don't know why that shows up. That's awesome. Great. Okay. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to drop the grounding path. I don't think we have a Facebook for the grounding path. Let's just go ahead and test this, because one of the reasons we built this was so that we can analyze and pre-fill. So let's see what comes up, because I have absolutely no idea what's going to come up, guys, like none. And that's really the point, because we want to see what AI is generating on our behalf. So while this is happening, after this is auto-filled, then you can go in and deploy your brand voice, rerun the intelligence report to see what schema you should be using, what gaps exist within the brand, what product spaces exist within the brand. And let's go to the brand identity. Now, I'm going to click away from this for a moment because I just want to show you the process, and then we will dive into some questions and things that you want to see. Marilyn, Brett is working on the WordPress piece for you. the speech recognition piece has been passed along to someone who is way above my pay grade, so that the audio pieces are available to you guys from different browsers on different, like from your phone to your computer, because right now it only works on your phone. Okay, so I'm going to go to brand voice. So the first thing you do is you work on your brand voice, then you run the intelligence report. Okay, you run the intelligence report, and this gives you all the schema, all the things, all the gaps that you're missing within that micro niche. And here's the thing, this is where again, it's stepping on the scale. It's basically saying this is what AI is saying is out there. And so if we're not showing up, that's actually good news, because then we know, hey, it's checked these directories, it's run with these AI search platforms. And from there, we can actually make a determination. Hey, we want to hit this micro niche, we want to hit it with this product, et cetera, et cetera. From the brand intelligence report, then we can refresh on the brand identity. So basically, we're uploading what we currently have, and then we're saying generate a new brand identity, which we can either keep, or ditch, or we can regenerate it. And that's really where we're focused on right now, because until, Renata, your brands can be super on point with messaging, all the blog posts that we write, they don't matter, because they don't work until we can get, which brand are we working on, Marilyn? Which brand are we working on, Melissa? Which product are we trying to get listed on the AI stuff, Jill? We actually we end up creating content that isn't the right kind of content for the kind of lead that we're going for. So that's really what we focused on this week. I will stop the share again. Super simple. So you get into the dashboard and you pick your brand. From your brand, you work on super simple things. You got to get your brand, your voice, your story, your people, your offers, your proof, and your market intelligence. And then from there, you can refresh your brand identity. And then from there, we go to our agents and we go to all of our integrations. Okay. So that's what we talked about. That's what the team's been on. All righty. I will stop the screen share and let's go ahead and take some questions the goal is super simple. Have an idea, build a brand. That's it. Make money, show up in AI. That's it. I built this to save $19,000 and 1,000 hours of hourly labor for my team.